It's 11:42 p.m. You're lying in bed, the kind of tired that feels like your bones are made of lead, but your brain is still running a marathon. You do the thing. You open the banking app. You've been checking it every day for 6 months like it's a scoreboard, and tonight, the pixels finally align. There it is. 5 digits. $10,000. Or maybe it's your first $25,000. Whatever the number was for you, the one that was supposed to make the chest tightness go away, you hit it. For about 12 seconds, you feel like a god. You're breathing different. You're thinking about that investment for beginners video you watched. You're thinking, I'm finally one of the people who has money. You fall asleep dreaming of compound interest and early retirement. Then you wake up, and suddenly, the universe realizes you have a surplus, and it decides it wants its cut. Your car makes a sound like a blender full of gravel. Your best friend announces a destination, wedding in a place that requires 3 flights and a goat trek. Your Instagram feed, which used to show you cheap air fryer recipes, is suddenly showing you investment opportunities and $400 boots that last a lifetime. The catch is that the moment you stop drowning, the world tries to drag you back under. You thought hitting the number was a finish line. In reality, you just walked into a room where the gravity is twice as heavy, and the system is designed to make sure that $10,000 finds its way back into someone else's pocket before the month is over. Hitting the number feels like a win, but the rules of the game just change, and most people lose it before they even realize the game started. Here is the uncomfortable truth. You aren't bad with money. You're just playing a game where the house has a massive advantage. We've been sold this idea that building wealth is like a roller coaster. You strap in, you grind up the steep hill of hustle and grit, and once you reach the top, you just coast into the sunset. But that's not how it works. In reality, wealth isn't a finish line. It's a foundation. And foundations are boring. They're heavy. They require maintenance. According to recent Federal Reserve data, nearly 40% of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency with cash. We know this. We hear it all the time. But what they don't tell you is what happens to the people who can cover it. When you finally scrape together a few $1,000s, you enter the danger zone of competence. You feel capable, so you take bigger risks. You feel secure, so you loosen the belt. This is why professional athletes go broke 2 years after retirement, and lottery winners end up back at their old jobs. It's not a lack of math skills. It's a wealth pressure problem. When you have $0, you're invisible to the system. When you have $10,000, you are a target. Banks want to lend to you. App developers want your micro investments. Everyone has a guaranteed way to turn that 10 into 50. It's a psychological trap where the scarcity mindset, the thing that helped you save in the first place, flips into a I deserve this mindset. If you feel like you're constantly taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back, you're not broken. You're just reacting exactly how the system wants you to. You are the almost success story that keeps the economy humming. My name is Peter. I'm obsessed with how money actually works. Not the version they teach in textbooks, and definitely not the version gurus sell you in front of rented private jets. I'm here to look for the catch, because there's always a catch. Before we go any further, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. I don't know your life, your debts, or your weird obsession with collecting vintage taxidermy. Please consult a professional before making big moves with your hard-earned cash. Most financial advice focuses on phase 1, the grind. It's all about skip the latte, get a side hustle, and save every penny. And look, that works for getting you to your first milestone. It's a survival mechanism. It's phase 1 logic. But phase 2, actually keeping and growing the money, requires a completely different brain. In phase 1, your enemy is your spending. In phase 2, your enemy is your emotions and the system's incentives. Once you have a little bit of slack in your bank account, your brain does something funny. It stops seeing money as a tool for freedom and starts seeing it as a reward for all that phase 1 suffering. You think, I've worked so hard, I can afford the upgraded trim on the car. And the system is right there to help you. Have you noticed that once your credit score goes up and your balance increases, your pre-approved offers start looking a lot more tempting? Banks don't want to lend money to people who need it. They want to lend it to people who have it, because they know those people are likely to spend it and pay interest for the next decade. This is a rich tax no one calls a tax. It's the invisible leakage of wealth through lifestyle creep and sophisticated financial products that are really just high-fee traps. The system is tuned so that most people never wander too far from the starting line. They want you comfortable enough to keep working, but not free enough to stop. Phase 2 is about realizing that your first $10,000 or $50,000 isn't a trophy to be displayed. It's a seed that needs to be protected from the birds. Let's talk numbers, but the kind that actually matter. The get-rich-quick crowd loves to talk about 1,000% returns on some obscure crypto coin or a secret option strategy. But here's what Vanguard and BlackRock know that you don't: the investor behavior gap. Studies show that the average investor consistently underperforms the market. Why? Because they get excited when things are up and they panic when things are down. They try to be smart when they should be boring. If you take just $100 a month, the cost of a decent dinner out or a couple of streaming subscriptions, and you put into a boring S&P 500 index fund starting in your 20s, by the time you hit 65, you're looking at roughly $400,000 to $500,000 based on historical averages. Now, that doesn't sound like Lamborghini next week money. But here's the kicker. The person trying to get rich quick usually ends up with $0 because they keep resetting their progress. They hit $5,000, lose on a play, go back to $0 and start over. The boring person with the $100 habit never resets. They build a floor. The math of wealth is actually just a math of uninterrupted compounding. Every time you dip into your foundation to buy a want, you aren't just spending that money. You're murdering all the future dollars that money was going to babies with. If you spend $1,000 at age 25, you aren't spending $1,000. You're spending $20,000 of your future 65-year-old self's money. Is that new TV worth $20,000? Usually not. To see how this plays out in the real world, let's look at Alex and Jordan. Both of them worked their tails off and hit their first $20,000 in the same month. Alex feels the weight lift. Alex thinks, I did it. To celebrate, Alex puts $5,000 down on a newer car because the old one might start having issues soon. Then, Alex takes a well-deserved $3,000 vacation to Bali. Suddenly, that $20,000 is down to $12,000. But wait, now the car insurance is higher. The car payment is new. Alex's monthly burn rate has increased. Even though Alex has more money than they used to, they feel tighter every month. Within 2 years, the $12,000 has been nibbled away by small emergencies and lifestyle adjustments. Alex is back to checking the banking app at 11:42 p.m., praying the car doesn't make that blender sound. Jordan, on the other hand, is suspicious. Jordan sees the $20,000 and says, this is my floor. This money no longer exists for spending. Jordan sets a rule. The $20,000 stays in a high-yield savings account or a boring index fund. Jordan continues to live as if they only have $1,000 in the bank. Jordan then starts a growth layer, a simple $100 per month automated transfer. 3 years later, the market has a bad year. Both Alex and Jordan lose their jobs in a restructuring. Alex panics. Alex has a car payment, high insurance, and only $2,000 left in savings. Alex has to take the first crappy job they find just to survive. Jordan is calm. Jordan has the $20,000 floor plus 3 years of $100 per month growth. Jordan has nearly $25,000. Jordan doesn't take the first crappy job. Jordan spends 3 months finding a better job with a higher salary. Jordan used money to buy options. Alex used money to buy things. Alex is back in the cycle. Jordan is on the path to freedom. So, how do you become Jordan? How do you make sure your $100 habit actually beats the get-rich noise? You need a playbook that accounts for the fact that you are a human being with feelings and a smartphone full of ads. 1. Set your floor. Pick a number. Maybe it's $5,000. Maybe it's $20,000. Once you hit it, that money is dead to you. It is the foundation of your house. You don't borrow from it for a vacation. You don't invest it in your cousin's app idea. It stays safe, liquid, and boring. 2. Automate the growth layer. Set up a $100 a month, or whatever you can afford. Transfer to a low-cost index fund. Do it the day after you get paid. If you wait until the end of the month to see what's left, there will be $0 left. The system is designed to eat what's left. 3. Build an options layer. Anything you save above your floor, and your growth layer is your options money. This is what you use for the car, the wedding, or the riskier investments. This keeps your gambling itch away from your foundation. 4. Be suspicious of sales. Whenever someone, a bank, a YouTuber, or a friend, tells you a way to accelerate your wealth, ask, what's the catch? Usually, the catch is that they get a fee and you take the risk. 5. Manage the I deserve it voice. When you hit a milestone, celebrate with a $50 dinner, not a $5,000 lifestyle upgrade. The best reward for having money is the ability to stop worrying about money, not more stuff that requires you to worry more. The real catch is that building wealth isn't about being a genius. It's about being more disciplined than the system is predatory. Protect your first big milestone like it's a floor, not the finish line. Because once you have a floor, you can stop falling. And once you stop falling, the only way to go is up, even if it's just $100 at a time.